Today's a little bit of an SR day. We are stripping this head because we're going to be taking a block and a head to Tomei. And I'm not bringing a crank, and that's because I've decided to do a Tomei 2.2 liter. My first 2.2 actually. I've only done 2.1s before, which is an overbore stock crank SR. But I wanted to try a 2.2 liter and see what it's like. We already have the HKS 2.2 in Daiki's car, but I want to do a Tomei one and just see what the difference is. So that's what we're going to be doing. It's not a S13 one. I know someone in the comments been like commenting every day 20 or whatever, of asking Sam to do a Tomei 2.2 and a S13 SR. But I like variable cam timing, so I'm going to stick to S14, S15 engine. That's what we're doing. We're gonna drop it off to Tomei today. That's gonna be fun. We got a lot of stuff going on since I've gotten back from PRI. I'm very, very jet lagged and struggling. I've got the shakes today because I only got like maybe 3 hours of sleep and forced myself to wake up. So I'm on the energy drinks, and I tried welding. It didn't go so well. Don't TIG when you got the shakes. But that aside, we have some stuff going on today at the shop. And then Riley has some big updates on his Alteza build, which is also really exciting. So stick around. Something that I've been working on today is making some modifications to our first batch and the prototypes of the fuel hangers that we developed for the JZX90 and 100 with Deaceworks. If you guys watched the PRI video, you know how much of a big deal this is, but just to give you a quick recap, there's a big fault with the Toyota fuel tanks in the 90s and the 100s where the internal baffles in the tank that are kind of staggered throughout it on the sides, their spot welds are super weak and they just snap off and start floating around in there. And what happens is they end up shorting out your pumps. It means that without the baffles, there's nothing stopping the sloshing from side to side. I'd say grip racing, it's probably not much of an issue, but the moment you start drifting the cars and swinging that rear end is when they just rip off inside there. And what happens is your car just starts fuel cutting on you when you're only like quarter of a tank through a full tank. So that's why we ended up making this. It's a big issue at Ebisu, especially with all the missiles there. I don't know anyone there that hasn't had to take the baffles out of the tank, because once they're floating around, and if you don't take them out, your pump just keeps shorting out and it's a big issue. So yeah, that's why this was developed. I did notice some things that I wanted to change. I wanted to make it more rigid and stronger, because the whole issue is that there's so much fuel sloshing in there that it breaks and bends and destroys all those spot welds. So I wanted to make sure we added some gussets to the support bar here, and I added another bolt-in point here, so this is way more reinforced and it's definitely not going to have any issues. This is going in a friend's car that drives a lot his chaser, specifically drifting, and we're going to be going to the track and making sure that the car doesn't fuel cut when he goes all the way to empty pretty much. So that's going to be really exciting. His tank also has 0 baffles in it, so that'll be a good test, and then it'll be going in one of my cars as well, and I'll be putting it through the ringer. My goal is to try and get 1,000 laps on this before it goes to the public. So that's my goal, but yeah, I'm just wanted to share you guys the process and show you that it's still not perfect, and that's why it's not to the public, but it will be. And I'm really excited because this is going to solve that big issue for those cars. You can't buy the tanks new anymore. Used tanks are worth a ton of money. So this is a cheap, quick way of upgrading your fuel pump, upgrading your fuel hat and wiring, and all those issues there as well. Is another issue with the wiring melting, and also lines that will just connect to your stock body lines as well. So you don't have to run AN lines all the way to the front if you just want a mild build. Oh, and then the pump options, 200 liter per hour, all the way up to 810 liter per hour, because we added brushless capabilities. So you don't even need to worry about needing 2 pumps or anything like that. This should be your all-in-one solution. Daiki's onto the last step, which is pulling the valve stem seals out. It's already done all the valve springs and everything. This is probably one of the most important steps of any SR build, even though the valve guides are probably gonna be okay with this because it came off an auto turbo motor. You want to check the valve guides, especially on the exhaust side. They always get play in them. The stock ones on RBs and SRs are renowned for being an issue. So if there's any kind of play there, as that travels up to the top of the valve, where your little guide shims are for your rocker arms, if that goes up, that means your rocker's going to fall off a lot. So that's one of the biggest issues with these, and why the rockers like to kind of yeet themselves at high RPM. So always check that. If they're in spec, we're good. If they're not, put some tighter ones in, some upgraded ones in, and then you'll be good. But everything in your head is a consumable, so it needs to be changed. And if you're doing a motor refresh, just new valve springs, new valve stem seals, check your guides. Fresh guides in the exhaust side at the very least is always recommended. We also have Fernando's S15 back in the shop, and we're throwing this on, which is the PRP SAMMIT Pink Edition LS alternator kit. I borrowed it from my S15 because we're waiting for a fresh batch of these to get anodized and come in. And well, he needs his alternator fixed ASAP because that thing's overcharging, if you remember in the last video before we went to PRI. So we're gonna go do that and make sure this thing's all good to go. I can't wait to put a turbo motor in this. We're still working on Fernando's car, but these are absolutely fire. I love when he visits because he always brings like American snacks, and Japan just has no dip. And we've gone through the dip so much, we're at the knife status where we've got to scoop it out with a knife with the chips. But am I the only one that likes French onion? Okay, hear me out, this is gonna be weird. French onion dip with spicy nacho Doritos. Don't mock it till you try it, but let me know. Am I weird? I'm curious. Old crusty alternator is out. Fresh LS one ready to go in. Dikey's just cleaning up the block. It's got a fair bit of juice on there. You excited to get some pink bits?
Oh dude, yeah, I'm so excited.
This stuff looks so good. And I'm loaded up. Get a Tomei with the block in the head. Look at that. Let's go see Sawai-san. We've dropped off the head and the block and we're in the good hands of the guys here at Tomei, and you can see they are crazy busy. Look at all those JZs on the ground. Oh boy. They got some new stuff too. They got a brand new oven for doing valve guides and stuff. Can't wait to come back and see how this thing's gonna pan out. We're still a little worried whether or not we'll be able to save this bore. We're pretty certain we will because most of this is aluminum that's been deposited on there. And because it's gonna be bored out to 87 mil, we should be okay. It should be able to clean that up really nicely. But before we do any other block work, we're gonna just bore this out first to make sure that all cleans up. If that all cleans up, then we're good and we don't have to sleeve. If we got a sleeve, well then I gotta take this somewhere else to get it sleeved. But for the most part, these are pretty fresh, good looking OEM sleeves. We might be able to get away if it's 87 mil. And then, yeah, should be able to rip. 2.2 time. It's been like a good, what, 3 hours maybe?
3, 4
I don't know how long it's been since I got back from Tomei, but new alternator was put on. It's like 9 o'clock at night, and I dropped that thing off at like 5.
Yeah.
It's a long time. And I've been pulling my hair out, trying to figure out what is wrong with this thing, because even with the new alternator on, it was pushing more voltage. It was pushing 15.9, like almost at sometimes. I'm like, something's up. So we had to start, we went through the wiring diagram, we started back tracing everything just to figure out what was going on, and we weren't getting any voltage on the 12 volt line that goes straight from the battery terminal, essentially the positive side, to the alternator. And the other line was working fine, which goes to the light bulb and the dash and everything. So we're like, what is going on? Started back tracing everything and I couldn't figure it out. And we're like, there has to be a fusible link there, but there's nothing in the engine bay when you look at like the sticker on the top, what's for the alternator charging circuit. Turns out that if you look at the wiring diagram, it says horn and charging, but at every other sticker that I could find for this, like the Yashio factory one, even the Nissan OEM one just says horn. But in the book it says horn/charge. So fair enough, I go and pull the fuse horn, the horn for the fuse horn. What's wrong with me? I go and pull the fuse out for the horn and it's blown. And I'm like, what are the chances that the horn fuse is actually the circuit for that 12 volt line to the alternator? Put a new fuse in and it fixes everything back down to 14.2. That is insane. We chased our tails for so long for that, and it was the freaking horn fuse. So if you have an S15 and you've got a weird charging issue, it's the horn fuse. Check that. Check the phone. That blows my mind. I never knew that was even a thing. I was about to call Okachan, and I'm like, man, I try to not call him as much as possible, yeah. But like I want to figure that stuff out for myself. But I'm gonna ask him when I see him next week about that. I'm like, did you know that the horn fuse is connected to the alternator? He's like, oh yeah, I fix it. That's an issue all the time. I could have told you that. I'm gonna shoot myself.
Did you not know that?
So yeah, the horn fuse is also the charging circuit that provides 12 volts to the alternator in your S15 Silvia. The more you know. If that's blown, if your horn fuse is blown, the alternator will send 15.5 to 15.9 volts, even 16 volts to your battery, which is no go. There you go, the more you know. Learned something new today, that's cool. Yep. That's like 4 hours. Everything I had planned for the rest of tonight's gone down the drain now. Time to edit a video.
A few moments later.
So we're kind of a little bit back at square one, but not really. the horn fuse popped again. The moment he put his quick release on, the horn sounded off and it popped the fuse. That leads me to believe that most likely something in the engine bay, probably the horn itself, is shorting out. It's pretty common sometimes if a bunch of water gets inside them, they'll short out. They have 2 horn units on these. So I'm going to disconnect those after reassembling this back together now that I've confirmed that all of this is correct. But it's weird though that his horn just gets stuck on all the time, right? So I think one of these just needed a bit of tape on it. It was just touching and grounding out. But yeah, otherwise, how weird is that? I still can't wrap my head around why a horn fuse popping causes the charging issue. That is insane to me. Just give it its own freaking fuse. Like, come on. Anyways, I'm gonna reassemble this and then we'll figure out what's going on with the horn situation. But most likely it's just an old horn shorting out from water damage. And then he'll get a nice new JDM horn set. You know those ones in Up Garage that we always push the buttons on?
Yeah.
Annoy the staff with?
Yeah. Push button, run away.
I mean, yeah, push button, run away. How many tissues do they cram in them now? Like,
There's, it's, I think, tissue and tape right now.
they pack them full of tissues and tape them up. But yeah, okay. Well, there you guys go. If you got a horn issue, it will cause an alternator issue, because what happens is it's overcharging and then the over voltage fries the regulator, so you end up with just like thinking, oh, it's the alternator, and you change the alternator and then that's overcharging and you break another alternator and you just keep going in circles. So I'm glad we dove into this properly and that we could diagnose it. But still, I would not have been able to figure it out if we didn't find that random Nissan wiring diagram from Australia that said horn/charge, but everywhere else just says horn. Nuts. It's a 50-50 chance which horn it is. So I've disconnected this one here on the passenger side. I'm gonna put another 10 amp fuse in. Let's see if it pops when the horn's triggered. Ready? Yeah. Horn? Sorry. Is the horn working still? All right. I think it was that one. That was the rustiest looking horn. So you still have a working horn? Start it up, see if the alternator light comes on. We're good? All right, let me just check, triple check here. Just try the horn one more time. We're good? All right. So you don't need a new horn, we just disconnected one. I don't know why he needs 2, that is like really loud. There you guys go. Your charging issues were literally a shorting horn.
Thank you, Mr. Nissan.
That is the weirdest thing ever. Like, I just can't wrap my head around that. I'm gonna call Okachan tomorrow and we're gonna have a chat about that, because that is hilarious. That is just one of those weird, wacky things. And the fact is like, I did a bit of research and checked the wiring diagram on Skylines. It's the same thing. So any Nissan from this era is probably the same. The horn fuse is connected to the charging circuit. That's wild. There you guys go. Never been so excited to have an S15 out of my shop. I'm still, like, I'm not... Those Yashiro factory tail lights look really good.
They're so bright.
So
I hate driving behind them because I'm just blinded, but I've got astigmatism, so that doesn't help.
All right, it's time for Riley content.
Hey, welcome back to me doing some things. Plan for today. Still have dry ice, got a dry ice Sam's car. Lexan came in, gotta start making some Lexan windows. I think that's a fender, which is super cool, which means I have a fender, can look at it and figure something out. As well as I want to start on fiberglass repairs and reattaching the hood to the car. I don't have a lot of fiberglass experience, but now is as good of a time as ever because I have a almost junk hood that if I mess up on, oh no, I have to get a new hood. Let's see how this goes. I got a new magnetic mount for the action camera so I can put it in all sorts of neat angles. Anyway, coolest part, dry ice. Dry ice. And then we wait, and all this stuff should lift off easy peasy. It's doing its thing. Everything's super cold. It's kind of sitting on the sound deadening in the rear, the middle of the tunnel. Can I hear it kind of crackling away? The process is starting to work. I feel like I'm being a little bit impatient just because I have so much stuff to do today. Oh, never mind. That's working for sure. Oh, that's so satisfying. Big pieces. Just peel off. Try not to lose all the dry ice under the like giant hole in the body. It seems like it's a little bit more stubborn back here, so cover that up and let that wait for a little longer. A few little taps with a hammer. Some persuasion. Woo. So satisfying. Got the back done, got the top of the trans tunnel done, got a bit of the sides. It transitions to like a different material from this really smooth stuff to the like bumpy stuff, and the bumpy stuff's a lot harder to get off. So I'm gonna make sure I've got enough ice to do the rest of the car first and then focus on the sides. This just looks so cool. It's a windy day, so there's a lot more CO2 smoke. Oh, this is almost the whole floor plan. Oh yeah. Victory! Front, done. Middle was already done. Rear, done. Top of the trans tunnel, done. Bunch of dry ice left, time to finish that side. And just like that, we're done. There's a bunch of like dirt and stuff left over that was trapped between the sound deadening. But everything there came off in like fairly huge chunk, so it's pretty good. I'm just gonna wait for this to evaporate, maybe hit the car with a vacuum a little bit later on. Same with mine. The material on the back of the trans tunnel is just really hard to deal with. I have a little bit of dry ice left, so maybe I'll like try to put it in a plastic bag or something to hold it against it and freeze it up. But yeah, just gonna wait for that to evaporate, vacuum everything up, and she's done. All right, so I'm super curious how much this weighs out of the Altezas. So 11.59 kilos. So with the bucket and everything, it's like 11.5 kilos of gross sound deadening stuff. So that's cool. Saved a bunch of weight. Now it'll be easier to like stitch weld everything to make everything nice. Quick break. We just arrived at the home center. I'm gonna go look for some supplies to do some fiberglassing. So it sounds like Fernando got here to give me a hand, which is sick. Quick update what we got from the shop. I got a tarp to lay down because I don't want to mess up the floor. Got some chop, got some weave, got some FRP. Got a little brayer to lay it in. Got some gloves because I don't want to use all Sam's materials. Got some silicone for doing the windows later. Got some hardener, which now I just noticed that is way too much. Some stuff and a mixing cup. So let me spread out the tarp to protect the area and we're good to go. All right, so I'd like to preface all this saying I really have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to fiberglass. This is the first time I'm actually doing it. All my experience has come with helping Sam repair FRP parts. What I've done is I've taken some aluminum tape, I put it over the massive holes that I want to fill, but taped it the other way so I can fill it in and it'll have a decent shape when it comes time to remove everything and then put some putty and filler over top of it. Yeah. Hopefully I do this right. I don't know. Let's see.
All right, in this part of today's video, I'm not qualified to be doing any of this, but I kind of have an idea. I have the weave. It's gonna go in where the big holes are to maybe provide structure. Afterwards, I'll put this stuff in. Let's see how this goes.
So I'm a big idiot, and turns out I bought FRP tool cleaner.
You live and you learn.
Yep, time to go to the store. Back from the last hardware store trip again. We got actual resin instead of tool cleaner. And I got a pipette to make things easier, and a little cup for the bucket. Let's try this again, only doing it properly this time.
I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm doing something. I've got little bits of fiberglass all on my fingers, but I have gloves, so it's fine. I'm doing a couple layers of weave, and then finishing it off with a layer of the chop. It looks like I'm doing something. I hope I mixed enough hardener in here so this actually dries, because if this doesn't dry, oh boy. But, yeah, I feel like I'm doing something. I hope it turns out.
This side here looks pretty good. We added more hardener. The rest of it, yeah, I don't know. We started the heater to hopefully have a little bit more heat and everything get into it. Hopefully it'll dry, hopefully it'll harden up. If it doesn't, hopefully it's soggy enough that I can go in and like scoop it out and then we can redo it. It's a new day. Came back. Fiberglass looks like it actually hardened, which I'm pretty happy about. I don't know how well the poorly mixed ones will end up being, but yeah. It was mail day. New fender came in. So we got a new fender. This eyeball's not looking so sad anymore compared to this guy over here. So I'm gonna peel off my patches and hope it worked. I still have to figure out how I want to fill that big crack and everything, but I don't know, probably some body filler or something like that. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm making the best of it. So we're getting the tape off the plugs. It's still a little goopy in there, but I don't know if it needs air to dry. I don't think it is supposed to. But, I mean, it's filled. It's got some fiber and stuff in there, so I'm going to peel it off the rest of the corners and, I mean, worst case scenario, clean that out, bog over it, and we're good to go. All in all, it kind of worked out. It didn't completely fill in the holes, but it gave me a nice base to put like body filler and sand it all down. This one worked out really well. I think this is the one where I had the like proper ratio of catalyst. So that one's nice and solid. These ones are still a little, they were a little bit goopy when I took off the masking stuff, but I still think I'll be able to work with this no problem. Yeah. New skill acquired? Maybe. I'm trying to figure this out. I have the seal broken about here. I think I've got it most of the way here. I stabbed myself in the thumb real good with the window wire. That sucked. But luckily it's not hospital bad. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna keep working at it. This plastic trim is getting in the way. I'm sure there's a proper way to do this where you can like pop out the plastic trim first or something. I don't know. Found the easy way to do it. So I'm trying to learn how to take windows out. Didn't go very well. It sucks because they're really hard to find Jita exclusive windows. But time to vacuum up glass. Sorry, Sam. Fernando showed up. He brought pie. We can't heat it up in the microwave. So, oh man, this smells so good.
Modern problems require modern solutions.
Yeah.
I don't know how we're gonna take it off. I didn't think that far ahead.
Welding gloves.
Yeah.
New day, new thing, trying something new. I got some body filler. I'm gonna try to fill all the big holes and gaps and everything in this hood. Get it looking somewhat half decent, if possible. I've never really used this stuff before, never done anything like that, but I've used it on small scale stuff, like models. So this is just like a big model, right? Easy. All right, going through this after I sanded it with the machine. It's by no means perfect, but I mean, for filling what was essentially giant holes made with a hole saw and not really knowing what I'm doing, I think it turned out pretty well. New skill, kind of learned. That's all finished for now. I'm just gonna let it sit for a little while till it's a bit warmer of a day, then I can hit it with primer. Yesterday, I removed the C-pillar glass, and unfortunately, I broke it while doing so. But I was able to trace a template. Still have this stuff in. I don't know if I'm gonna attempt to remove it myself. I might wait till like there's a glass guy. I know for a fact I'm not gonna do the rear because this is way harder and I don't have too many attempts at this one. I can just flip the template and it'll work on the other side. But yeah, for now, I'm gonna grab my templates, grab the Lexan. I'm gonna work on making a little replacement panel for right here. See how that fits. Yeah, that'll do. Beautiful. And then on the other side, it's still got the blue film, but that looks pretty OEM. New day. My fender came in. It means I can put it here, which means I can figure out how the hood is supposed to fit and bond these in. Issue is there was only super long ones at the shop, so I spent money on bolts. Why did I get titanium chrome ones? Because it was funny, and it was only like $1.50 more than getting regular bolts. So yeah, we got fancy bolts for the bottom of my hood that nobody's ever gonna see. Okay, new fender, temporarily mounted, so we got the position. Got a bit of panel bond on both of these. I have a little plastic cap to keep this raised a bit so it'll bond. We have panel bond in there, and now, Dikey, let's put it on. Kind of get it so it looks okay.
Hold on there.
Does your side look kind of okay with the panel? Oh wow, yeah, that looks great. As the panel bond is drying on the hood, I've moved on to try and make a template to figure out how to make the Lexan window for here. I made a rough one out of cardboard, measured it, kind of where it's off, and I think I kind of have a plan. I don't know for sure, but I don't know, I'm gonna play around with some cardboard and tape and hopefully this turns into something in the end. Kind of got this window fitted here. We were gonna go try it in the other side, but turns out this had like some window or something in it and it was entirely full of silicone. So I've spent the better part of the last forever trying to get this all out. But yeah, once I get it out, we'll see if that works. The thing we cut fits this side too. Then I'll use it as a template, cut out another one. And then I can put it in using copious amounts of silicone myself. We managed to stick these things on. They're in there nice and tight. So I am going to cover all of this stuff in fiberglass and resin. And it will be good forever.
We're glass and fibers. I don't know what the drying time on this is going to be like, so I'm trying to work as quickly as I can. But still being good with coverage, etc.
This is looking pretty good.
Yeah, this side. I mean, don't look too, okay.
That's fine, dude. This is like what, your first time fiberglassing?
Yeah, once this dries, I'm gonna neaten it up.
Yeah,
and then
that's fine. Don't worry about that. This like, you don't have a mold or anything nice and pretty to put it in. You don't have any of the tooling that you should. So you're doing a good job with just a brush. That's the main
paintbrush.
thing. But that aside, the door, the hood will open and close by itself now. Probably.
Yeah.
You got hinges, like the door. This will bolt to hinges now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And you're gonna fill this all in eventually. You're gonna layer this up more and then cap it and fill it in.
I'm not gonna fill it in all the way, but I'll make like kind of what I did here. I'll make it strong and then make it look good.
So maybe, and then when you cap it, there'll be like a gap in. You could just with expandable foam.
I had to remove the expandable foam that was in there. I am never doing that.
I'm gonna expand it.
Oh no!
Then. Surprise! But no, it's sick. It's cool. Chipping away at everything, and then I'll be working on my Telsa soon. The reason why I haven't been working on it since I've come back is just purely because we're waiting for a bunch of parts to come from Okinawa. There's a fair few things like that were missing off the car, and Gerald's been able to take that off all the other Altezas he has in his yard, and he's put it on a big box and shipped it to me. So once all that arrives, we can get power steering working, we can connect all the stuff that's missing, and then that thing will be pretty much ready for seats, a hydro, and some kind of power adder, I think. And then, yeah, you guys are gonna like my first power adder. Can't wait till that package comes. But yeah, there's more Alteza content coming soon. I'm pretty excited. Yeah. Like, comment, share, subscribe, guys. Seriously, subscribe. You should. Also, check out my Instagram. We're giving away a bunch of Sim Magic gear right now. So if you want a cool simulator, steering wheel, hydro and all that kind of stuff, check out my Instagram. There's a post that I collabed with Sim Magic, and there's only a few things you have to do, like comment and share and stuff like that, and you might get a brand new Evo wheel, which is super cool. See ya.